What's up guys, I'm Coach Sean and I'm here to show you how you can take your favorite recipes and make them just a little bit healthier. Today, we're doing Sloppy Joes. This recipe is gonna be a little bit smoky, a little bit spicy, and we're gonna top it off with a Brussels sprout coleslaw that's really gonna set it off. You're not gonna wanna miss it. This is Coach Sean's Kitchen. Now I'm still a new YouTube channel. That means likes, comments, subscriptions still mean so much. So if you love what I'm doing, please like this video, leave a comment. It can be anything you want. You can just say, I love Sloppy Joes, that'll work for me. But let's get down to it. Let's start making our Brussels sprout slaw. Using Brussels sprouts for my coleslaw is something I recently started doing and I don't think I can go back. Not only are Brussels sprouts a little bit more nutritionally dense than cabbage, they also don't have that unwanted side effect, you know, the whole gas thing. So as you can see, I'm gonna cut up my Brussels sprouts nice and thin, shredding it just like I would with some cabbage. Then I'm gonna take some baby carrots and I'm gonna run them over my box grater just for a little added color. And then we're gonna finish by finely chopping some green onions. We'll add it to our bowl, we'll mix it up, and then we'll set it aside. Now let's go ahead and turn our attention to the dressing. Now there's two schools of thought with a coleslaw dressing. There's the mayonnaise based and the vinegar based. I'm in the vinegar camp. I think it tastes better, but it's also a lot easier on your calories. So this vinegar dressing is incredibly simple. We'll start off with some apple cider vinegar. We'll throw in some olive oil. Then we'll add in a little bit of honey, some mustard, some celery seed, and then salt and pepper. We'll mix it up. And then I'm gonna keep the dressing separate from my coleslaw and mix it up right before I'm about to serve it. Now that the coleslaw is prepped, let's turn our attention to the Sloppy Joe. To begin, we're gonna start by prepping our vegetation. So I'm gonna start by dicing up half an onion, and then I'm gonna dice up half a red pepper. And then we're gonna finish with 4 cloves of garlic, but you guys know that I always go a little bit heavy on the garlic, so adjust if you need to. Once this is done, we're gonna head over to the stove. Here, I've got my large cast iron pan over some medium heat, and I'm gonna start by browning my meat. I've got some 8812 ground beef, but you can use whatever you want. I've made this recipe with ground turkey, ground chicken, and even tofu. All of it is delicious, so feel free to customize it to hit whatever macros you need. Once our meat is good and browned, I'm gonna remove it, put it in a colander to drain, and then I'm gonna start sauteing my vegetables. Now, since I'm thinking saute, I'm only gonna cook these for about 5 to 7 minutes, lots of stirring until I get some good color on the outside. Then I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic. If you follow my channel before, you know I love to put a little bit of olive oil down in the middle of the pan. That lowers the heat so that my garlic doesn't burn and it can come up to temperature slowly. Once the garlic is cooked a good 30 seconds to a minute, then I'm gonna add in a few tablespoons of tomato paste and then I'm gonna brown it in the pan. Now the next ingredient I'm gonna add is a whole bunch of ketchup. Now you can use classic store-bought ketchup. I found a veggie-based ketchup that uses a whole puree of squashes and yams and other vegetables to make it a little bit sweeter, and I've completely fallen in love with it. I'll put a link in the description below so you guys can find it. Then we'll add a splash of water. I'll put my meat back in the pan, and then we're gonna finish with a few more ingredients. We'll start off with a little bit of yellow mustard, then we'll add some chili powder, some Worcestershire sauce, and then my secret favorite ingredient in Sloppy Joes, some liquid smoke. The addition of liquid smoke, in my opinion, is what really takes an average Sloppy Joe and makes it exceptional. Now, all that's left is we need these ingredients to simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes until the vegetables are done to your liking. During this time, you're gonna notice that your Sloppy Joe is going to thin out. So feel free to add a little bit of water to get it to the consistency you want. Some people like it a lot of sloppy, a little Joe. Some people like it a lot of Joe, little sloppy. So feel free to add water to get it to whatever consistency you want. We'll finish by tasting for salt and pepper and adjusting there, and then we're ready to plate up. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put down my bun. Today, I'm using buns from Dave's Killer Bread. They've always had fantastic bagels, fantastic sliced bread, but I've never seen hamburger buns before. So this was my first time trying it, and I highly recommend all of their products. These buns were amazing. Then we'll add a good serving of that Sloppy Joe. We'll finish with a little bit of coleslaw. I love putting it right on the meat to give me a lot of contrasting texture. We'll finish with the top of the bun, and there you have it, an absolutely delicious and healthy Sloppy Joe. Looking back at what we did here, we have an incredibly high protein sandwich, tons of vegetables, there's no added sugar, and the fat is incredibly low. And the taste, freaking out of this world. Seriously, the addition of liquid smoke is what really sets apart these Sloppy Joes. If you like this video, make sure you smash that like button, leave a comment. Remember, it can be anything. Just say, I love Sloppy Joes, or tell me what you want to see next. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode of Coach Sean's Kitchen, and just remember, you can make anything homemade and healthy.